Hey guys, what up? Welcome to the vlog. Today's vlog is a little bit different. It's not going to be about RC cars. So we're still down here in Galveston, and me and my family decided to go on the historical Galveston ghost tour. So we're going to go to this thing and see if we can find any ghosts, and I'm going to make a vlog about it. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to make this into a vlog about going on the Galveston ghost tours, historical downtown Galveston. So we're gonna get ready, we're fixing to head out. Once we get over there, I'll put you guys back on. Thanks for watching. And this is all of us in the car on the vlog, heading to the ghost tour. All right guys, here we are for the historical Galveston ghost tour. Gonna vlog it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments about it. My first vlog. Hey guys, here we go. We're starting this ghost tour, and we're here at the Rosenberg Public Library in downtown Galveston, historical Galveston. And there's this statue out front of Henry Rosenberg. I don't know who he is. Show you guys around a little bit. Jacob. There's Kimber. Oh, get off. And there's these doofuses. I don't know what that building is, but look.
Church.
Oh, it's a Baptist church. There's the sign over there. This is pretty cool. It looks old. Everything looks old. Kimberly and Jacob. Say hi, Papa.
Hi.
How you gonna make Rosenberg run? That nigga's
8 o'clock. Welcome to Galveston. My name is Al. In addition to being a ghost tour guide, I'm also a high school teacher. Both jobs are very scary in their own way. If you don't know, become a substitute teacher for a week. Find out for yourselves. But to start off this tour the right way, I have to find out first, how many of you actually believe in ghosts? A lot of hands. Nice. How many of you have had a paranormal experience in your life? Okay. How many of you want one tonight? Okay. Well, the rest of you must be here for history. There is a lot of history here. Now, most people consider Galveston just a resort beach family town. We are not. We are a beach family town with a lot of cemeteries attached to it. Now, there's a lot of history with those cemeteries. I always begin my tour here. That is Henry Rosenberg. He came to Galveston with nothing in his pocket. At 19, he went from sweeping the floor of the bank to running the bank and building some of the early railroads from Galveston all the way to Houston. You can tell he did a good job. His name is on the Rosenberg Library, and the city of Rosenberg, Texas is named after Henry Rosenberg. So he is our time machine. I have to take you back in time. The year is 1500 on Galveston beaches. Most of the roads here, if you take them down, most of them will take you to Galveston Beach and Seawall Boulevard, the main road attached to that beach. Now in the year 1500, the Spanish conquistadors land on those beaches, but they weren't the first people here. Here were the Coughlin Indians, 6'6" to 7 foot tall Indians, roamed the Gulf Coast for hundreds of years before they got here and hundreds of years after. Now the Coughlins watched them hit the beach, but the Spanish landed with no food, no weapons, and no supplies. Getting here was hard enough. They landed with nothing, just themselves. And when they landed, they were really hungry. Now they fought and killed a few of the soldiers, a few of them died, and they cooked them for dinner. Once they were finished cooking and eating, cannibalistic style, then the Coughlins would approach them. You can tell they didn't approach them right away because they were eating humans, and they were like, we'll come back when they're finished, right? So eventually they would show them how to hunt, fish, and survive on the island without their typical supplies. So while other people are given credit, the Coughlin Indians are actually the first inhabitants of Galveston. Now, those Spanish conquistadors were so used to treating women a certain way in Europe, And going to brothels in Europe, they thought they could treat the women of the tribe that same way. As soon as the men saw that, no. They started killing the Spanish. They got down to 5 soldiers. They let the last 5 survive, and in their own way told them, get back on the ship, tell the rest of wherever you came from that we are here. We will not give it up without a fight. But they let 5 of them live so they could tell the rest. And for hundreds of years, the Coughlins would live here. No one would really push them out, not until the year 1811. Now, in the year 1811, one particular man is in New Orleans. He is Jean Lafitte, the pirate. He is smart. He waits till people go to sleep. In their sleep, he raids their ships, takes their gold, takes their women. He's a very smart man. In the daytime, he poses as a tradesman. He takes the stuff he stole, tries to sell it back to them, to the American and the British soldiers. The British would accuse him of being a thief and a pirate. So he would say, I'm not a pirate. Do you want to buy? Do you want to barter? Do you want to trade? If they insisted, he would say, well, since I'm a pirate, duel. All pirates duel, don't they? How do you want to duel? Sword, knife, gun. Since he was a little boy, a little bit smaller than you, he had been training to be the best pirate in the world. He could kill a man in 30 seconds and laugh about it. He killed a lot of British soldiers in front of public in the middle of the daytime. The Americans saw this and asked him, help us. What do I get? I'll give you some free reign to build a new city of your own and a lot of gold. You got it. In the War of 1812, John Lafitte and his 1,000 pirates helped the Americans kick the British out of New Orleans. It'd be a lot different, and New Orleans had the British won, right? There'd be a lot of tea time, not beignets and other things, right? So, they promised was kept. He came back here and settled Galveston. They called it Campeche. From New Orleans, he would bring voodoo. He found a homeless dog as big as me, beautiful jet black fur with red eyes. Was one of his favorite things in life. Some of the American and British soldiers also converted from being soldiers to become pirates. He started with 1,000 pirates in New Orleans. Somehow he ended up with 3,000 pirates. You do the math, right? Now his men got greedy. They kept attacking ships, but the Americans were so impressed with his power over his men, they let him build up the island. And I told you he brought back voodoo. He told the voodoo priestess to bless his dog and bless his gold. That dog was a girl. He gave litter to puppies. Those puppies got even bigger than Mama. Those are known as the Campeche devil dogs. They're over 6 feet tall with red eyes. Now it's legend he left them here. If you see one tonight, they've got red eyes. Everyone, as soon as someone spots them, we have a hurricane, which happens about every 10 years. So if you see one, tell me. The tour's over, we get in our cars, we're out of here, right? Okay. Now, we also brought back women from the red light of New Orleans. Now, because there's a lot of little ones, I'm not going to say the PROS word, that bad word, right? I'm going to say the red light. He would begin the biggest red light district in the South, ever. His beginning started from 1817 until 1992. Now imagine that, a red light still working in 1992 back here. Tonight, when you get in your cars, if you still want to look around, it's that pink Havana alley that was still working in that manner. So, his men sunk an American warship, so the Americans used it as an excuse to take the island back. They sent the USS Enterprise, not Star Trek, the real USS Enterprise. Now, his 3,000 men were an incredible army for pirates, but they are no match for an American naval fleet. So he packed up everything, left the women alone, left the dogs here, but burned everything to the ground. If you go see his house, type in Google directions, Maison Rouge, but remember, the house you see is another man's house built on top. His original home that way is underneath with his original wine cellar. You ever see a ship in the water? Look closer. It could be the tribe, his pirate ship. He would continue raiding ships until the end of his days. Now, so far we've got cannibalism, Spanish, Indians, pirates, the War of 1812. That's not even close to half the story. The beginning walking portion of our tour is going to begin here at 23rd and Sealy. I will bring you there. Now, most people aren't gifted or blessed to see ghosts with their eyes. Most people can take pictures. Every night, I get evidence on phones, but it's up to you to take pictures. Lots of them, lots of video. I want you to show me your evidence. From last week, not last month, last week, my photos and my videos of the ghosts in those windows I'm going to take you to. But I want to see your evidence. When the tour's over, show me your evidence over there, and I hope you enjoy it. If I do a good job, please leave me a tip / gratuity. Now, I walk fast. If I walk too fast, just let me know. There's a lot of you, okay? So, I'm going to walk to the front of the group. Y'all ready to see some ghosts? All right, let me make my way to the front. And we will begin. I know all of you are strangers to each other, but I hope by the end of the tour, when we come back here, that you're willing to share your photos, your stories of what happened tonight. Of course, the history is beautiful, right? We're not just a beach town. We have a lot of history. We are the beginning of Las Vegas. We really were the Wall Street of the South. Galveston was the crown jewel of Texas in the early 19th century. So, when we come back here, please do share your photos and your stories. Now, behind this beautiful church, way back in the background of our beautiful downtown, is the Galveston Opera House. People like Willie Nelson, Anna Pavlova have played at the Opera House. Now, back in the day, one particular man, Charles Coughlin, played in front of the Queen of England. Now, if you got a good performance, you got booked at the Galveston Opera House. So he got booked there. Unfortunately, he caught yellow fever on the trip, got sick, and when he arrived here, he died on the first day. In the newspapers, they said Charlie was amazing. It wasn't Charlie, it was his backup. His understudy performed that whole week, but Charlie got rave reviews. He had actually got sick and died. A lot of Europeans brought their disease to Galveston. Smallpox, yellow fever, the bubonic plague. That's why you don't drive around in the daytime. You'll see that Galveston has a lot of orphanages, which is really, really strange. But the family said, put him in a temporary grave in a coffin. We'll pick him up soon. But soon never happened. On September 7th, 1900, these streets right here are lined with sand, seashells, stone. So the wind went from 40 miles an hour to 180 miles an hour. A Category 5 hurricane in the year 1900 came through. It killed 12,000 Galvestonians. So it picked up Charlie's coffin, that metal coffin, and took it back out to the Gulf of Mexico. He was a forgotten memory. They had bodies lying from here all the way up to the beach. 12,000 bodies, still considered to many as the worst American natural disaster in our history. So, he was a forgotten memory. In the year 2000, who did they discover a mile from his original house in Nova Scotia? They find a metal coffin 1 mile from his house in Nova Scotia. Open it up, sure enough, bones and his drinking cup. See, Coughlin. So it took him 100 years to get home, technically, but he made it there. What I'm telling you is this. I know most of you parked here. I will bring you back. It might take 100 years to do it, but I'll get you back, okay? That story is true. It's in Ripley's Believe It or Not. It's one of the good stories of Galveston. It's Walmart. Now imagine if 12,000 people died here, all the way here. A 2-story orphanage next to the beach, right next to the water, had no chance. The water eroded the dunes. They had 2 large sand dunes built and stacked in front of the orphanage. The water took it out quick. The boys screamed and panicked to the nuns, sisters, we have to leave. They didn't listen. They said, no, we're gonna stay. We've survived every storm so far. We're gonna make it. They started singing to the boys. Didn't work. The boys climbed to the roof. Everyone drowned. The nuns tied each other to the waist by clothesline, right? And they were wearing wool. So 2 awful choices. Wool habits, right? And now tying each other to the waist. Somehow 2 boys actually survived. They grew up to be men to not only tell the story, but put the plaque in front of the Walmart. Can anybody guess what section of that Walmart on Seawall Boulevard, which is all the way down and then all the way to the right, what section of that Walmart is most haunted? Thank you. Now, most Walmarts in America are 24 hours a day. They shut down for 10 minutes at midnight, change registers. Ours completely closes. So many managers have quit because employees have quit because it's haunted. So many cleaning crews have dropped their equipment and said, I can't do this anymore. From 10:30 at night till 4 in the morning, the ghosts of St. Mary's Orphanage take everything off the shelves and put it on the ground. The toy section, I want you to go tonight, put bikes in the aisle, take a ball from the bin, watch as the bikes ride each other through the aisles, and the balls will follow you aisle to aisle. But do not be scared. Remember, they're just little boys, but they do want to play. From 11:30 to midnight, you've You've got half an hour to get a souvenir and go check out the ghosts because they're going to check out you. Also, go to the cereal section. Watch the kids go to the cereal section and knock all the cereal boxes down. So the cleaning crews start at 4 in the morning, right? It would be really hard to keep picking up stuff, so they start at 4 in the morning. But y'all have 11 till about midnight to go say hi to those ghosts, if you think you can take it. Welcome everyone. Now, welcome to your first haunted building. This is the Normandy Inn, built in 1912 by George C. Smith. It was intended to be a family house. He threw a big party, he was excited. But at some point in the party, little George Jr., his son, runs to the 3rd floor on the opposite side of the house, jumps out of the top window, lands in the grass, breaks both his arms. In the hospital, they said, "Son, what were you doing?" He said, "I'm sorry, Father. During the party, he whispered in my ear for me to take everyone's life at the party, and then for me to end my own life." There have been 16 different owners here since 1912. Each owner has found out the hard way. Whatever's in there whispers to you and your life and everyone else's life. Because of that, each owner has been murdered or killed except for one. The last owner is the only one who hasn't died in this place. So, that being said, take your photos of the front, and then when you join me on the side, I will tell you the rest of the story.
Pretty spooky house, guys. Every owner's died.
Get out of the street.
Stop, guys. Stop. I'm vlogging.
All right, you really want to center yourself somewhere about here so you can get some good photos. Now, I'm going to tell you the rest of the story, and then I'll tell you where to take the photos of where we typically get evidence every night. So, you can see this is a lot bigger than you anticipated. This is over 26 bedrooms, right? 7,000 square feet. This has had 16 different owners. It's been a hotel, a motel, a boarding house, a home for the homeless. It's been a family house, but it's also been a home for a black magic practitioner. It's been home for a satanic practitioner as well. So the last identity it was an inn. In 2005, I call it the Normandy Inn. That's what it was. In 2006, 11 people went missing during the night. They never went back home. They never returned from vacation. The police investigated, the owners cooperated. They couldn't discover anything. The FBI took over and they found only this. On the 2nd floor, you could latch the walls and slide them and sneak up into the 3rd floor. The only thing they could really guess is that those people either left on their own accord or by sneaking through the 2nd floor to the 3rd, they could have been pulled out of their beds in the middle of their night. This has been boarded up. It's FBI evidence, and until they solve the case, this place will stay boarded up. Now, since 2005, weird things have been happening here. A lot of satanic practitioners break in here to hurt animals and other people. So I've gotten weird pictures here. The 2 weirdest pictures I've gotten is a ghost dog here, and a lot of people say, "Ow, there's no such thing as dog spirits." I've gotten 3 times this month, the end of August, a ghost dog right here. Not only will you get the picture, you'll get the dog will sometimes come up to people and lick your leg. So tonight, when you take pictures, don't just take one picture. If I point to an area, take 5 pictures in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's often that 3rd, that 4th, or that 5th picture, you'll pick it up. The ghost dog has been seen over here. Now, that is cool. This is also really strange. One of the original owners has been seen in that upper middle window. Beautiful tuxedo suit, very skinny, blacked out eyes. I've gotten them many times in that middle window. The other picture I've gotten is over there. I've gotten a girl. Now most people can't see the ghost, but I watched as they were taking pictures. I didn't want to disturb their process. She walked up the walls and then she turned sideways one picture was taken, picked her up turning sideways into the window. At any point on the tour, if you pick up a ghost face, show me. I want to show everyone else. I have my photos, but I want to see the photos you pick up tonight. So, when you finish your photos there, join me at the back of the house. I have one last story to tell you about the Normandy Inn. Now, as you can tell, this is what I was talking about. We show this house in the summer when it's safe, right? A lot of tourism, a lot of police are out, nice days. But when it gets fall and winter, because the satanic practitioners come here, we don't show the house anymore in the fall and winter. This broken glass is from them climbing up in there. Now, one of the other tour guides, he taught me how to do this job. He went in there with his brother and a video camera. They thought they were going to be macho men with a couple guns, make a documentary. 20 minutes later, him and his brother found out the truth. Whatever's in there really whispers for you, end everyone's life, and then take your own life. Those are two brothers that had to listen to that. They ran out of here scared. Also, he told me this. When you go in there, there's a creature that lurks and it licks your leg. You can't see it, but it's in there. So, this is what happened after 2006. Those practitioners painted that face on there. That is a sign of the man and the goat. That is the devil. When you see that in real life, that's an evil church. That tells other practitioners in the world they can hurt animals and people and no one's going to even notice. So, when houses are boarded up like this, that is not a good sign. So, take your picture if you want. This house has actually been on Ghost Adventures with Zach on the Travel Channel. I don't know what episode, but it was. This house is weird. It calls out to people the next day. If it calls out to you the next day, it likes you. Do not come back. You think I'm kidding? It has a strong magnetic energy. A lot of people take pictures of the butler man in the window, and the next day they tell their significant other or their mom and dad, I had a picture with the weirdest person in my dream. And then on their photo, they seem that same person. So, just be ready, okay? Take your pictures if you want. After that, please follow me. We're gonna hang out here for a few minutes, give everyone a chance to catch up. Watch. Sometimes when I come to this house, which is now a Jewish church, a synagogue, the original owner of the house, John Brown, when everyone's ready, if he wants to, he'll flicker this light and the other light. That's depending on whether he's in the mood or not. Ghosts have their own personalities too, right? But as you wait for him to flicker the light, start taking video here. Now, there's two things you'll pick up when you take video. One is the reflection of light of the building. Hold your phone still. If you get the green circles bouncing up and down on your phone, those are the ghosts. If your phone is still, hey John. If you get green things bouncing and you're holding your phone still, that is the John Brown family, which is a family of 4. Take video now. Thank you, John. He'll turn off the light for me in a second. So, if you get the green orb bouncing, just wave me over. I want to see. Remember, hold your phone still. All right.
Oh, wow. She got it.
John, can you turn the light off, please?
Is this it? It's green. Oh, wow.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, you gotta hold it really still.
John, can you flicker this light too? Just that one. Alright, y'all, now, if you're not scared, the ghosts of John and the family move inside the home. On the outside, they show us green orbs. But inside, they'll show their human form. Go up to the window as close as you can, do that glass right there, put your video camera and take pictures. You'll get the ghosts inside. This one right here.
Is it video or photos?
Both. Whichever you prefer.
Yeah.
No flash.
No flash?
Now while we're waiting for everyone to finish their videos, if
Put
you
it
want,
up to it.
I'll bring around to you a couple ghosts that I picked up in the Normandy last week. Don't walk to me, I'll bring it to you. So we'll take about 2 more minutes. Hey John. And he puts on a good show, doesn't he? Old John Brown. I apologize if any of you haven't seen any of the ghosts on my phone so far. After the tour is over, if you stay behind, I'll show more pictures, and I'll try to show it during the intermittent times. This was the younger sister's house. This was Tilly Brown's house. Now this was a wedding present in 1885. The father who built that mansion down there, the Ashton Villa, built this when she got married. Now she married a man named Sweeney. He showed himself to be a good guy, but as soon as they got married, he showed his true colors. As soon as they had kids, he continued beating her and those poor children. To this day, the kids, because they got hit so often, show up right here in these windows with their faces and their little hands asking for help to get away from their father. Now they hid it from their grandfather. When he passed away, the older sister Betty became the 4th wealthiest woman in America, and she hired the mob to come keep an eye on the husband here. She was worried about her little sister. So one night, Sweeney hears about the mob and sees them on the street. He goes to get drunk out there, comes back with a pistol. He takes that pistol, puts the wife and kids to the floor in the living room. The mob rushed in, brought him out. Betty rode horse carriage from the mansion. As you can tell, wasn't too far. And here on the street said, "Look, I've given you fair warning. If I see you again near these children or my sister, I'll kill you myself." She banished him from Galveston, forced him to sign a divorce from the sister. You could tell she was a very powerful woman, right? Not only rich, but she had the mob doing what she wanted. So 10 years later, he shows up at the Tremont Hotel, which is very much haunted. So he was killed on the spot. She told him not to ever show up. He did. I've only got him once. When I tell you these ghost stories, really, the only time I've really got him in a photo is once. Once, about 4 weeks ago. A woman stood right about there and took 5 pictures. She didn't get anything. The guy next to her picked up 1 shot. It was a silhouette of a man sitting at the table, a dark silhouette. That's it, sitting there, which may have been him. Now this is a true poltergeist house. What I mean by that is the TVs turn on and off, the light bulbs flicker, the toilets flushes, and the light bulbs unscrew and float through the air in the middle of the daytime. True poltergeist house can move a lot of objects. Now the family who lives here is super nice with me. They allow me to tell these stories in front of their house. They have the record of living here the longest in the last 50 years. Can anyone guess what's the record of living in this house the last 50 years?
1 year.
Lower.
50 years. Lower.
6 months.
6 months. They moved in November. This is a joke in Galveston because we all watch. This has been on the market over 40 times. Families will move in, see how haunted it is, and look at each other and say, "No way, we're out of here." They put it back on the market. For you to live in a true poltergeist house, you have to be very strong, you have to be very loving, and you have to be very strong in your faith. So, this is a beautiful Victorian house as well. This is called the Painted Lady. You can see the owners back in the day, the Browns, built on top of the original first floor. This is the second floor. So that's encased in cement, sand, in preparation for future hurricanes. But while I show some more pictures of the Normandy, to those of you that didn't see over there, y'all take your pictures here in this window. Look for the kids. You won't see the husband very often, but the kids are right here in this window. Take 5 pictures. I'm going to roam in the background if some of you want to see the pictures of the Normandy ghosts. Has anybody not seen the pictures I showed up at the last house? Okay.
The shadow on the wall. It is right there. It's the same shape. You can't really see that big shadow. Your phone tells you you're little.
it's strange that little kids take the best photos of ghosts? Because little kids point their phone everywhere, right? Take pictures in the grass. I've got women's ghost faces in the grass. Don't just take pictures of the house. You can see now they use it as a basement. Below this house is a 15-foot. Even now, John's still flickering that light. He really wants attention, that John. Bye, John. Below this house is a running cistern of water, but you can see a Victorian house with this beautiful colors. They must have paid quite a penny for this thing. Oh yeah, smell the history. Once the historic foundation puts a plaque on your house, that raises the value way up. So, hopefully they stick around for a while. We'll see. Now, if you would like a photo of the front, it is a beautiful historic home. As I said, they set plaques on it. It survived the Great Storm of 1900. 12,000 people died. 6,000 people in this 4-block radius drowned, which explains why the 2 teenagers who live here have to put on movies or music. If you don't, all you hear till 4 in the morning is wet feet walking around your bed, but you don't see anybody. Those are the people that drowned in these streets trying to get to the balconies of those mansions. Now the mother, she'll come out in the front yard once in a while. She says this, in the mornings when she gets ready for work or for errands, she doesn't have to do anything. When she approaches her closet, the closet doors open for her, the shirts push aside and the blouses, and the shoes push out to her feet. Now she does have to squat to get the shoes, but other than that, they pick out her shoes and dress for her every day. It's pretty helpful. It's also kind of creepy.
She wants to wear something different.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, everyone, please follow me. I'm going to take you to a similar house, but this house, no one's lived in for 30 years. Another poltergeist house. Please, follow me. Y'all are really far away. Please, come closer. There's some brick if you're afraid of the grass of ants. There's a lot more pavement over there. Well, as I said, this house hasn't been lived in for 30 years. So this is the original house of the Hickenloopers. At the age of 3, Lucy, she had musical talent. They thought she was a prodigy. So her parents took her to Europe, trained her. They basically chose a career for her at that young age. Now when they brought her back from Europe, get a picture of this beautiful historic sign, they decided she's going to compete with some of the best musicians in New York. So they changed her name from Lucy Hickenlooper to Olga Samroff, as you can tell by the sign. With that European name and her talent, she got booked in New York as a teenager. She went on to become the first self-produced musician as a woman ever in New York, first woman ever to teach at the School of Juilliard, and she worked directly with Walt Disney to make the first Mickey Mouse songs ever. If you get bored tonight on YouTube, type in Mickey Mouse Steamboat Cartoons. That's her music, and that's her piano in the background. She had a really wonderful career. This was their summer home, the Hickenloopers. Eventually, all the relatives would pass away. When she died, she was the last one. There was no one to pass the house on to. So the city put it on auction. 30 years ago, Mr. Galicia, who lives down here, so he lives down the street, he auctioned for the house. He bid, one bid. Going once, going twice, sold. A big crowd like yourselves stood here and watched. No one else bid on the house. He bid $12,500. That was it. He won. He didn't really win. When he first started renovating this place, he started with the stairs. I don't call her Olga. To me, she'll always be Lucy. She waited till the men would take the cans, the lids, take them off, dip their brushes. The second they dipped their brushes and turned, Lucy would take the cans and knock them off the stairs. They would go everywhere. They kept having to go get more paint. At some point, Mr. Galicia fired multiple crews for horsing around, right? He said, look, your new crew, forget this. Go renovate the inside. I want the inside done soon. Lucy would take power tools and do something to affect them, that they wouldn't work anymore. Ghosts have power, more so inside than outside. Outside, the worst they can do is turn off your phone, drain your battery. Check your batteries. They may have drained half or all of your battery by now. They often do that to many phones. But inside, they have more power. So, the men didn't tell their boss, Mr. Galicia. They hid it from him. They didn't want to get fired. They went secretly and got hand tools. Lucy said, no problem. When they were on breaks, she'd hide the hand tools. So, they convinced Mr. Galicia that it was haunted. So he agreed. He put camera system. That is one camera of 26 inside. When he put the cameras, he got superstitious and did this. He put a mirror facing the staircase and a crucifix. Now it's a myth that if you put a mirror inside a house, it will trap the ghost. Lucy turned that mirror the other way the next day to face the street. When she did that, he really believed this was her house. He's been trying to renovate this for 30 years. She hid hand tools. They'd have to rewind the footage to see where in the heck the tools went. Mr. Galicia? Yeah? I can't finish work today, boss. Why not? I can't find my tools. He fired a lot of crews. This house has been blacklisted. No workers in Galveston, at least, will renovate the home because they'll get fired. And two, they all know it's haunted. So this has sat empty for 30 years. He wanted to demolish it, but the Historic Foundation asked him nicely, look, we get funding by the city. We will help you with the electric bill and the taxes if you promise, in conjunction with us, to keep it as a historic landmark. So Lucy is in there by herself for 30 years. This is now just history. So if you want, I get Lucy in that V. Do y'all see where the curtain splits in a V up there?
Yeah.
Go up to the grass in that V of the darkness. Take 5 pictures. You'll get her face, I promise. Also, come up here to this grass. Take 5 pictures in that mirror as close as you can. Right about here. I've got pictures in that mirror of her as well. If you get her, show me. I want to see. Y'all take your time looking through there. After the tour is over, if you haven't seen Lucy, after the tour, I got video of her walking up to the window, putting her hand on her face. But so many people here, we're going to have to wait till after the tour. Y'all take your pictures, get your evidence though, okay? Also, if you take a video, you'll get orbs, like at the last house. Lucy tends to linger at the staircase. She likes to look in the window and then floats to the staircase. You'll pick up 2 green orbs, which is possibly her and one of her relatives floating on the staircase. Let me know if you pick up anything tonight, especially at this house. I want to warn you that there's a black cat over here. It seems really sweet, but that cat has bit a few people. Please do not pet that cat. It's drawn blood. So, at your own discretion, he shows himself to be cute until you get bit. But Galveston was one of the largest slave ports in the South. These actually were slave houses. This was a master slave house back in the day. These other 3 were all slave houses. Now, if you ever watched American Horror Story, it's one thing to read about slavery. When you see it visually in front of your face, then you truly can understand the horror of the torture those people went through. So this house, like Lucy's house, has also been blacklisted. Do not come up to these steps. People that have went back to their home state and told me, Al, you were right. I went up to the steps. The next day I threw up and had a horrible migraine. This is a very strong energy. This is as close as I recommend. People that come up to the gate, which is as close as I told you, they can smell a man smoking a cigar right at the gate. So ghosts, you can hear them, you can see them, you can smell them, even taste is a part, right? The senses tell you when they're nearby. So if you want, we've got shadows. I had 2 shadows here, follow people, they ran back to me to the next house. Close as you can, but do not go past the gate, please. I don't want you to feel sick tomorrow. So, take your pictures if you want. You want to come up and see if you can smell the man smoking the cigar there, you're more than welcome to. There are nails embedded down there, so do not go past the gate, please.
Having fun?
Yeah.
Take it to something else. My brother's sick.
A good opportunity to see love. Welcome everyone. This is my favorite house on the tour. This is built in 1860. This is the Charles Adams house. So 4 years later, the Civil War would be fought here twice by the North and the South. They fought in the Battle of Galveston I and in the Battle of Galveston II. Now the North would win the battle. There is an actual cannon from the Civil War battles fought here in Galveston. Now not important to the Civil War itself, but both sides realized whoever won and controlled the fort might play an important role. The North would eventually win the fort here. So for $50 to $85, depending on the day of the week, you can test your belief in ghosts easily here at the Adams. Look at Airbnb though, the website. Don't look for Charles Adams. Once on Airbnb, the website, you find the Civil War house and stay here. So back in the day, Charles Adams was a coffee importer. He was overseas on business when the great storm hit. His wife and son, like many people, panicked. The water overtook the first floor. They left. They ran to the street trying to get to the bigger mansions. Like many, they drowned. When he came back, he was very sad. The first thing he did, he mourned. He bought a black cat. Named that cat Toby. We believe that cat is the same cat that you saw over there. A lot of people laugh, but we looked at pictures back to the 1900s. That black cat has been seen in pictures every decade going back. The Rosenberg Library has the third floor, archives. Every house on tonight's tour, if you want, go back to archives on the third floor. You can see every original owner, all the original pets. That cat has been seen in pictures here all the way back to 1900. So, there also is a sign of the cat inside. Do not let him in. Once inside, he is impossible to get out. We believe that the boy, when he passed away, took possession of the cat and has been here ever since. Now the other cool thing about this place is the wife. The wife is often seen here in the front door. Take 5 pictures. There's a lot of you, so take your turn. Get the sign. Try to get Jessica in the window. And next to the door is a diamond-shaped plaque showing it's a surviving house of the Great Storm. Before y'all begin moving and taking turns, let me give you one last warning. The ghost here on the second floor is mild, but he's a prankster. A Russian sailor died here when this was a boarding house. You stay on the second floor. He'll wait till you go to sleep, and he'll make his way to the edge of your bed and sit on the edge and then nudge the bed so you can wake up and see him sitting on your bed. So if you see that, he wants you to pass out or he wants you to scream. Now here's the creepy part. If you don't wake up, he'll lick your cheek. A lot of people in the mornings have asked, I want my money back. There was a dog in my room and it licked my face. The owner will say, no, there were no pets. Here's a ticket to the ghost tour. I apologize for the inconvenience. This place is haunted. If you stay here, buy 2 toothbrushes. He'll put yours in the toilet. He loves to play jokes. So, that being said, y'all take your turns. This is a Greco-Romanian style home. My favorite on the tour. Don't forget the cannon, the Airbnb sign. Jessica, I've got her a few times this month. Right there on the front, take many pictures. And then the second floor, the Russian sailor. He hopes you stay on his floor with him.
Take your phone.
Now I believe the Russian sailor also goes another place. Do not walk over there. I've seen a lot of people almost fall or faint in that darkness over there. I've seen lights and orbs emitting, but from over here, take your video and pictures. There's no way a homeless man or a homeless woman lives in there. No way. We've got orbs and lights flickering in the darkness right there. This, as you'll see, is the Buick Dealership. Follow me to this corner so we can get ready for our next turn, and I'll show you the front. Welcome to the Buick Dealership. Now, this is a big part of Galveston's history. In the 1920s, Prohibition sets in. You can't buy nor sell alcohol. Sam and Rosario Maceo are 2 barbers at Murdoch's, now a souvenir shop on Seawall Boulevard, Originally, it was a barber shop. Now, when the leaders of the downtown gang and the beach gang killed each other, Sam and Rose smartly took over the gang, imported liquor, and hid thousands of cases of alcohol and liquor under Murdoch's in the sand. They used the railroad to ship it up and down the country. For 3 decades, Sam Maceo and his brother Rose would rule Galveston as the mob. They had the mayor, chief of police, everybody was in their pocket. But they said Sam, as long as he did what he said, he was the nicest man. He paid for a lot of people's college, helped them with doctor's bills, but if he asked you to do something, you did it, or he killed you. So, back in the day, he told the Buick Dealership, look, I've got 10,000 men coming off the railroad. I need them to have a good time. So, he told them, I want, not can you, I want a bordello on the 2nd floor. Men in the 30s and 40s would get their Buick serviced on the 1st floor, and they themselves would get serviced on the 2nd floor. A lot of people think the 55 houses of the red light were the only ones. Oh no, there were hundreds scattered throughout the city. Many posing as dealerships, boarding houses, and rental units. Very corrupt. This was the beginning of Las Vegas. Sam, with Moody Bank, would finance the first place, the Desert Inn. Unfortunately, in 1951, he would die of cancer. Now, the Macios and the Fertittas married into each other. People think the mob left. They didn't. Tillman owns half the island in the Houston Rockets. The Macios are still here too. They're one of a lot of the police higher positions, and they have a lot of companies here on the island. So, the mob never really left. So, that being said, take your pictures. This got bought by a church. The next time you drive by, you won't see the Buick anymore. You'll see probably a Buick church. I don't know what time, but I know it's going to be renovated. Now, I didn't bring you here for another cliche joke, right? But I brought you here. It's interesting how close people come to the sign. Not even at the funeral home. You can tell a lot about people, how close they are and comfortable they are with ghosts and death, how close they stand to the sign. I'm not saying y'all are afraid of it, just look how close everyone here stands to the sign. But this is actually where they put the bodies. When the Great Storm of 1900 hit, there were 12,000 bodies to account for. So the rich families, the Seeleys, the Moody's, and the Kempners formed the dead gangs. Now, they ordered everyone in the city to help move the dead bodies. 2 men on the spot refused. They were shot and killed immediately. They said, look, everyone's gonna help. Here's some alcohol, drink, move the bodies. Everyone helped out. Now they separated the rich and saved them for the Platts. Some of the higher middle class got one too. Everyone else got piled up into buildings here and there. But they noticed when the corpses started piling up, the smell and the disease killed more people than almost the storm itself. So they started putting the bodies from outside the buildings here. They made big piles of bodies and burned them. The people in Houston could smell the burning bodies. But they noticed this: when you burn a dead human body, you get bones. Fire isn't strong enough to turn bone to ash. They were stuck with over 6,000 set of bones in this 4-mile radius. Now, they decided this. They dredged a canal from the water over there. They dragged mud, sand, and they stacked old Galveston higher, higher, higher. 10 foot higher. You are now standing 10 feet above old Galveston. Those bones are below your feet. They were burned here and on the other side, downtown and by the beach. This is what we call in Galveston. If we really know it, this is the boneyard. When we have hurricanes and storms, salt water from the Gulf kills plants temporarily. As big as this, splits the roots, and during Katrina, people called the police and said, I have bones in my backyard. What do I do? Well, do you own the house? Yes. You do what you want. Click. A lot of people put those bones in trash bags. But you can tell, burning the bodies in piles, putting the bones now in trash bags, that's not how you end a human life. Now you understand, well, besides the murders and the deaths, 6,000 bones are below your feet. Now you understand why they walk the street at night, lost. This is the boneyard. So, even I have to remember to feel my sadness. I hope that they get the ceremony they deserve one day. I said my piece with them, I feel bad for them. But it's up to you how you want to say your piece with them. But Follow me next. After this, I'm going to take you to the end of the boneyard, take you to the Robert Durst house. Please, follow me.
Jacob, do something for YouTube. Do a trick.
Now, I can't tell the story in front of the house because people get mad at me. So because of that, I tell the story out here. So when we get to the house, take a lot of pictures. Now, in 1973, Robert Durst, a billionaire, the son of a real estate billionaire, goes to get his teeth cleaned. Now, while getting his teeth looked at, he falls in love with a beautiful dental hygienist, Kathleen McCormick. They would get married and live in a beautiful house in New York. But at some point in the marriage, they were living in separate houses. No one ever knew until after the fact. So, she even told her best friend, if I go missing, let somebody know. That meant the marriage wasn't working out, and for her to tell her best friend, I might go missing, was really weird. Sure enough, in 1982, she does go missing. They never find her body. Robert at the funeral was seen and heard trying to sell her jewelry and some of her furniture as well. You can imagine how mad the family was to see this. But everyone's watching. They couldn't do anything. 18 years later, the FBI would get an anonymous tip to reopen the case. Susan Berman, Robert's best friend, calls him and says, Bobby, they're going to re-interview me, but don't worry, I won't tell them. She knew the truth of what he had done to the wife. So, in California, she is killed and murdered execution style in the back of the head. He then began here at the Rosenberg Library, where all of you began. He calls to this house and says, my sister-in-law needs a place to live. My sister-in-law, right? My sister-in-law can't talk. She's mute. The owner said, that's fine. Robert dresses in drag as a woman, puts on a wig, dress, hat, glasses, pretends to be the sister-in-law, moves into the upper right apartment. The man living next door probably figured out really quick who he was, and after that, Morris Black, his roommate, washes up on the beach of Galveston in a trash bag. Because he discovered his true identity, he chopped off his arms, chopped off his legs, shot him twice in the head, and then ripped off the head. Last week, I ran into the man who took out the carpet at this house. He walked past me and said, son, do you know what happened here? I said, yes, I do. He said, no, you don't understand. I was the man who tore out the carpet. He had never seen so much blood in his life. I'm going to whisper the rest of the story over there. Follow me to the house where the butchery continues. This is as light as I'm going to get before all the residents in the area come out here and make me a ghost, okay? So Robert moves in there pretending to be the sister-in-law on the upper right. Now you can tell there are 4 apartments here. People these days move in and move out after a month. Whatever's here is still here. The ghost bangs on the side of the house till 4 in the morning. Now if you moved into an apartment and all you heard was constant noise, you would probably move out too. Now Morris lived up there in the upper left apartment. When I told you he discovered his identity, this wasn't the job of a hitman. He got really mad. The blood was everywhere. Even now, if you want, with your flash, come to the side over here, turn on your light or your flash, and on the side of this building, you can still see he murdered him up in that window. The blood dripped all the way down the inner wall and the outer wall. Take your picture with the flash on the edge, you can see it. So, in court, he claims, Your Honor, Morris was watching TV in my room. I came home, he pushed me, it was self-defense. With a good lawyer and a lot of money in our country, you can get away with almost anything. So he did, he was acquitted. 10 years later, HBO said, let's make a documentary on the lives and deaths of Robert Durst. So they did. In the 4th year, they picked up audio. He forgot that when you walk off a TV set, they can still record your voice. In the restroom, they recorded him saying to himself, hey, what? They know we did it. Did what? We killed them all. That we was used to arrest him. That indicates there's more than one personality, possibly more than one serial killer in that mind of his. He is set for trial this September in California. If you want to watch the documentary tonight, turn on HBO Go and watch The Jinx. You think someone had made it up? They didn't. Look on the side of the house. Once in a while, people pick up a man with no head. That's Morris, the ghost. Take 5 pictures in the alley. Take your turns. I'll be waiting over here when y'all finish your pictures. You can see the blood, even in the nighttime, how it drained from through the top windows.
Mm-hmm.
It bled all the way down. The nighttime is tough to see, but in daytime, you can see the red visibly.
Yeah.
She lives over here. She came to my tour and said, Al, after the tour's over, everyone went home. She says, can I talk to you? And I was like, oh man, what did I do? Did I offend somebody on the tour? Well, okay. So she pulls me aside and says, no, I waited until everyone went home to tell you this. I live over here. She says, I knew the story of Morris, but the last few weeks, a man with no head has been walking through my room. She told me that Morris Black, the guy who was murdered here, he walks through her poor room over there. The poor lady, she asked me for advice on what to do. I said 2 things. 1, you should probably talk to him, ask him nicely, and then let him know that's your house. 2, you need to get someone to cleanse the room, or you're gonna have to move. So she took my advice. Hopefully she listened, but she says she lives right there, and that Morris walks over to her house. So he's still here, and until they piece his head, they never found the head. Either it's washed up in the Gulf, or he buried it somewhere here on the property. Maybe if they put the head back and give him a proper ceremony, maybe he'll stop banging the side of the house. But in September, the whole world is going to get to know Robert Durst. He's crazy. And you think a serial killer only killed 3 bodies? There's no way. There's a lot more bodies out there waiting to be discovered. All right, everyone, follow me, please.
Hello.
There you go. It's vlogging. Say something.
Hello.
Say something for the vlog, for the ghost story. Tell them something.
We're walking back. We're gonna go in the car, and then as soon as I get home, I'm falling asleep.
That was his input.
Welcome everyone to the first ever home built in this area. Now Broadway, a very, very busy street, right? This was first built in 1859. First beautiful house in this area. Now a few years later, the Civil War would be fought here twice. The North would commandeer the mansion, use the right side as a hospital, and use this left portion as a morgue. A lot of Confederate soldiers are buried there, and there, 20 feet deep, also over there as well. A lot of Civil War ghosts are seen walking there to the front door. Take pictures of the ovals when you come up here. Now, this is Betty Brown's house. Remember the sister who had the husband killed over there? Betty Brown is the one who lived here until she died in the 1920s of Lou Gehrig's disease. She was single most of her life. She drank, she smoked, she partied. She would often go into town, meet eligible bachelors, let them fall in love with her in the mansion, and then after 2 weeks, say goodbye, I'm good, go your own way. When she broke up with men, she had the mob push them out of the house. So you know those breakups were really quick. She was a very eccentric woman, very powerful, very rich. Now when you come up here, this is your chance to enjoy the mansion. Even through the windows. Get this close, take 5 pictures. You'll get Betty Brown right here up to the curtain. Now, all night I've been talking about this plaque. Finally, you can get your own picture really close with your family and friends in front of the plaque. Hurricane Ike came up to here to the waterline, even with the longest sidewalk in America. And that 15-foot seawall, still the water rose up here, 2008. Please come up and enjoy, take your pictures. After you take your pictures, find me over here on the sidewalk. I'll show you a picture of Betty Brown. But first, come up here and get your own evidence. Y'all have fun, take your pictures. I'll be waiting over there to show you a ghost, Betty Brown, last week. Now this is built in honor of the French Quarter. You can tell the architect loved New Orleans. Those of you who love history, notice this. When the Civil War was won, the first person to declare the Emancipation Proclamation was Gordon Granger, that huge statue over there. So that is Texas and American history on this balcony, that statue. So, y'all take your time, take your pictures in front of the plaques. When you finish, I'll be waiting over there to show you Betty Brown, the ghost, and then take you back to your cars.
I didn't see him. No, he's probably right out there.
And his heart was that glare of the.
It's probably on purpose.
Yeah, love light. Right.
Can't really see anything. Honestly, the house is like. Oh, you might see something there, huh?
Like, whenever you want. Wedding, party, some night, the number's right there. But notice on the sign, it doesn't say haunted. It doesn't say owned. It says occupied by the mistress of the manor. If you have a party here, she will drink, she will smoke, and she will flirt with men. She is not shy. We have come full circle, but I have one last house for you. This red one right here. Now it looks just like a single brick building. This is actually the house to one guy. One guy lives in there. He boards everything up on the first floor because everything on the first floor floats in the daytime. He doesn't want people to see it. If the stuff floated on your first floor, you would probably keep it boarded up too to prevent people from breaking in your house. Now before it was his house, it was Yolanda Price's house. She had retired from work. She was tired from moving. She fell asleep. She felt something pulling at her hair as she fell asleep. When she woke up, she found 2 handfuls of hair next to her pillow. She was freaked out. She didn't go to bed the second night. She wanted to see. A little light emerges from the top window. It's a boy in Victorian clothing. He says, "Mommy, you came home to me." She says, "Nope, go back, go back." She asked the church. They walked inside. They said, "We will pray for you," and then left. They didn't help. They didn't pray for her, right? A medium helped get her out of the house. He said, "Look, there are 20 spirits inside. You should move." She moved to Houston. 2 weeks later, she calls him. That medium has been on my tour before, so I know the story. She says, "Look, I think all of them followed me to my new house. Can you come help me?" He said, "Look, I have to hire a crew." So $10,000 later, he had to hire 5 people to help her cleanse the house in Houston. He came back and told me they all came back here. They're looking at all of you. The main one, he says, is Katie. Katie, at the top, pushes all the other ones aside, and she wants to look. She's looking at all of y'all through the top window. Now I hope you stay a moment and show me your photos. Enlarge your photos, you'll find faces. Now give me 3 minutes to say goodbye to everybody, and then I will show you more of my photos. But with that being said, let me say goodbye to everybody. I hope you had a good time. Leave me a nice review. If you have any recommendations for future tours, leave me your recommendation for my tour on a $5 bill. I will read your recommendations when I get home tonight. Give yourselves a hand, y'all. You'll survive the ghost tour.
Alright guys, that's the end of the vlog. Let me know what you think about the ghost tour and the history of Galveston. Has a lot of rich history if you ask me. It's my first vlog. I thought it was a lot of fun doing the vlog and it'll be a memory to look back on for years to come. So I may start doing more vlogs like this. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this one, if I did a good job and how the vlog went and what you guys think about it. Anyway, we're all tired, pooped, sweaty, worn out. It's the end of the vlog and I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.